The house on Old Briar Lane. No one ever stayed long at 76 Old Briar Lane. Realtors blamed the steep driveway. Locals blamed the smell, mildew, and something faintly metallic like rusted coins or old blood. But the house itself never said a word, not until the Whitley family moved in. 3 months after the last snow thawed, Eliza Whitley stood on the front porch with her husband Mark and their quiet daughter Lily. The real estate agent, pale and shaking, handed over the keys with trembling fingers.
If it knocks at night, just don't answer.
They laughed, nervously, brushed it off. The man was clearly drunk or unwell. Eliza didn't even tell Mark what he'd whispered when he leaned in to hug her goodbye.
The house remembers what it was. It, misses what it lost.
At first it was little things. Shadows in corners that shouldn't have shadows, a strange draft under Lily's bed, the sound of heavy breathing when no one else was home. Then came the whispering. It always came from inside the walls.
Mommy, the house says you're not my real mommy.
Well, the house is wrong, sweetie.
It says you're wearing her face.
Mark was next. He started waking up outside. On the lawn, the porch, once even inside the crawl space, clawing at the dirt like he was trying to dig. He didn't remember walking, or waking, or the strange dreams.
I dreamed I was building something, or maybe unbuilding it. There were stairs. They led down, but when I got there, it was just me, in pieces, watching myself dig.
1 week later, Lily disappeared. They searched everywhere, every room, every cupboard, every inch of attic and basement. Then Eliza heard the giggle. It came from inside the walls.
It's nice in here, Mommy. So many faces in the wood.
Mark took an axe to the wall, tore it open. Nothing, no Lily. Just layers and layers of old wallpaper, each older than the last. Each one with faint stains that might have been water damage or might have been faces. That night, Eliza woke to find her husband standing at the foot of the bed. He didn't even blink.
She's part of the house now. She told me you can be too. All you have to do is listen.
She ran. Of course she ran. The police never found Lily. Never found Mark either. Just Eliza, wild-eyed and incoherent, clutching a bloodied axe and screaming about whispers in the drywall. The house at 76 Old Briar Lane sat quiet for a while after that. But it waited. It always waits. Because a house that remembers what it was will always hunger for what it lost. And tonight, the porch light flicks on for the first time in months. Someone new has just pulled into the driveway. The house on Old Briar Lane. Ty and Jules didn't believe in haunted houses. They flipped properties for a living.
Urban exorcists.
Jules joked. Paint over the rot, install some trendy tiles, and boom, you've got charm. The house on Old Briar Lane was supposed to be just another quick flip. The listing was practically a steal. Historic home, minor cosmetic wear, motivated seller. It was the word motivated that should have been a warning. The first few days were normal. Dust, drafts, that unsettling wallpaper, layer after layer, each older and more brittle than the one before. Then the tools began disappearing, a hammer here, a pry bar there. Ty blamed Jules. Jules blamed the house.
I swear, I left the spackle knife on the kitchen counter.
Maybe the ghost is doing drywall.
A dull thud echoes from upstairs. Then another, rhythmic, like someone hammering behind the walls. By week 2, Jules stopped sleeping upstairs.
I heard someone in the attic, like pacing, but slow? Deliberate?
Probably squirrels.
Squirrels don't whisper your name.
Ty found her on the couch one night, clutching a box cutter, staring at the vent above the fireplace.
You okay?
It's breathing again.
On day 15, the floor gave way in the second-floor bedroom. Ty fell through. He landed hard, in a crawl space that shouldn't have been there. It wasn't on the blueprints. It wasn't in the inspection. It smelled like wet soil and something older. He looked around, dazed, and then saw it. Dozens of childlike drawings carved into the wood, crude shapes, a house, a little girl, a mouth with too many teeth. And beneath them all, one word, gouged so deep into the beam it looked like it bled. Lily. They tried to leave that night. The front door wouldn't open. The windows wouldn't break. The air inside grew thick, humid, alive. Then came the knocking, not from outside, from inside the house, rhythmic, patient, like knuckles tapping behind the walls.
It's not just haunted, it's lonely.
Jules disappeared the next night. Ty found her in the basement, curled up like a child, whispering to the furnace vent.
She doesn't want us to leave. She says we're the only ones who hear her now.
Who's talking to you?
The house. I am the house.
Ty ran, through walls that shifted, stairs that looped, doors that led to places that hadn't existed before. He made it to the front door, bleeding, panting, half mad. It opened. The house let him go, but only so someone would believe. A month later, the listing went live again. Charming historic home, newly refinished floors, one of a kind. The last line, written in the smallest possible font, "Welcome home." Dr. Evelyn Reeve didn't believe in ghosts, not the way others did. She'd seen too many tricks, pipes rattling, mold hallucinations, electromagnetic interference. The mind could break itself trying to make sense of rot. She'd written 2 books on it, but she couldn't explain Old Briar Lane, which is why she came. The file was thin, too thin. 5 owners in 10 years, 2 missing persons, 1 fatality, ruled accidental dismemberment, as if that were a thing. Sealed complaints, whispers.
You're wasting your time. The house doesn't need help. It needs to be buried.
Evelyn set up camp in the dining room. Cameras, EMF readers, audio monitors, a thermal drone that mapped heat signatures through the walls, and her journal, of course.
Ambient temperature fluctuates wildly. House seems to breathe through vents that don't connect to any HVAC system. There is movement, but I am alone.
By day 3, Evelyn began having dreams. She was underground, wading through walls made of soaked wallpaper. Someone was crying nearby, but the sound was backwards. She woke with mold on her fingers.
Found something behind the fireplace. A bricked-over doorway. Tools corroded. Bricks felt warm to the touch. Knocked once. Heard someone knock back.
She broke through. Behind it, a staircase leading down. But there shouldn't have been a basement. She went anyway. The drone lost signal 30 seconds in. The footage cuts to black. Evelyn didn't come back up that night. She returned in the morning, but she wasn't alone. Behind her, following from the basement darkness, was a smell. Copper, burnt hair, and a child's giggle that echoed even when no one was speaking. She said nothing all day, just stared at the ceiling, whispered under her breath. That night, she recorded one final entry.
It's not a haunting. It's a memory, a hunger. The house doesn't trap you. You bring yourself here, you bring your cracks, and it slides in between them. I understand now. It doesn't want visitors. It wants pieces to become whole again. I don't think I'm Evelyn anymore.
The house was empty the next morning. No sign of her, no sign of equipment. Only her notebook left on the kitchen counter. The final page was covered in dark smears, but one phrase was still visible. The house doesn't keep you, you become the house. 3 weeks later, the listing was updated again. Historic Victorian with unique charm. Basement recently renovated. Perfect for those who don't mind a fixer-upper or being fixed up themselves. They moved in just after the frost crept down the telephone lines. Nathan and Claire, young, ambitious, arrogant. They didn't see a haunted house. They saw an opportunity.
It's just a little mold, Nathan. The bones are good.
Everything smells like wet pennies. Old wiring?
They joked about ghosts, mocked the stains on the ceiling.
Renovating a cursed house. Send Sage. LOL.
They were still laughing when they opened the attic. They stopped the moment they found the teeth, dozens of them, loose, scattered in the dust like rice after a wedding. No jaws, just teeth. Tiny ones. On the third night, the lights began to flicker at 3:13 a.m. sharp. Footsteps echoed overhead, though they hadn't gone upstairs. Claire found her phone in the freezer. Nathan woke up with soil under his fingernails and scratches on his legs. Long, shallow, spaced like fingers.
Did you come to bed last night?
I thought you did.
The house was learning them, breathing them in, every laugh, every shiver, every whispered doubt. And then I spoke to them. Yes, I spoke.
Nathan, the radio, it's talking.
It's not plugged in.
You don't belong here.
Who the fuck is this?
You took down my walls. Now let me inside yours. I showed them the staircase, not the one they came up, not the one on any blueprint, the one behind the mirror. It leads down. It always leads down. They fought me, of course. They always do. Nathan screamed her name as the mirror rippled like water and pulled her through. I let him hear her voice through the vents. She begged, she wept, she called him by his name in voices that weren't hers. He followed, and oh, he screamed too. But not for long. You thought this was just a story, didn't you? Some spooky little tale about a haunted house. Something you could read, then forget. Ha ha, no. This is a confession, a feeding. Every word, each syllable you read, lets me inside you.
I've been behind your eyes since the first line.
Watching, learning,
measuring where the cracks are.
And now, I know exactly how to get in.
So listen carefully. Don't look behind you, don't check the door, don't blink, because you're in me now. And I'm done waiting.
I'm coming for you, and you'll scream like they did, only longer. You are already home.